Schouten and Braden are co-founders of Hardbite Potato Chips. He was born in Cloverdale, BC, and has been in the farming industry for as long as he can remember. In 1993, Pete saw an opportunity to invest into Heppel's Potato Corporation. As a fourth-generation potato farmer, he knows it takes more than just potatoes to produce the perfect chip. Braden was born in Ontario. Today he is a seasoned marketer who has fused a service-focused approach with strategic creative thinking to form the backbone of Revelation Marketing, an innovative marketing agency in Abbotsford that joined forces doing the marketing with Pete and his partner Les. This summer, Braden became one of the co-owners of Hardbite Potato Chips. Please join me in welcoming Pete Schouten and Braden Douglas.
Thank you, Richard. It's good to be here. Thanks for hosting. How many people here are entrepreneurs? Okay, a few. I love working with entrepreneurs, and I think it's just even hearing Matt and Chen, and that your business becomes a bit of your child. And so I have two kids, and I also have Relevention as an agency, and now Hardbite, and they do become a bit of kids for you. So I'm going to tell you. So when I came to my wife and I said, Jen, I've got this great opportunity. All right, any entrepreneurs, anybody who's married to an entrepreneur, you know that those are very scary words. I said, there's a potato chip company that I think might be a great opportunity. And so she looked and said, okay, you want to take our money and you want to buy this potato chip. Oh, no, it's not just me, it's with Pete, and it's going to be great, it's going to be fantastic. And so she said, convince me that this is a good idea. All right, so I'm going to tell you there's three things that we evaluated as potential investors in Hardbite to say, is this really a good idea? And so what I want to do tonight is I'm going to give you the backstory, like a good J.J. Abrams TV show. We're going to give you a backstory of my life and Pete's life and how it came together with Hardbite. And there's three questions you have to answer about how do you evaluate your own company? Or if you're looking to buy a company one day, what are the three things you really need to look for? Okay, you with me? Okay. All right, so my backstory. So I am from the Toronto area, and actually I want to thank Matt Solo, fantastic restaurant. Thank you guys for doing that, appreciate that. I knew I loved marketing. It became a passion. So then I started making potato chips. I worked at Frito-Lay. I was part of the Lay's, Ruffles, and Miss Vicky's brand. And so that's kind of my first foray into the chip category. I was Miss Vicky for 2 years of my life. I created lime and black pepper Miss Vicky chips. And Lay's sea salt and pepper, I was the pepper guy. Yeah, I was the pepper guy. There's other nicknames you can get. Pepper guy's not too bad. And then I've always had a heart for nonprofit organizations. Always wanted to give back. Always felt there was always that missing kind of component. And then you feel like, you know what, maybe you need to work in a nonprofit. So I left Frito-Lay in Toronto. Moved out to Langley, British Columbia to work. Yeah, ew. Is that what Isn't that bad? But I started working on how do you get corporate level marketing with no money. Right? That was my key mission, was to try to figure out how do you actually get marketing strategy, we had about 15 different divisions with not a lot of resources. So I was trying to put together frameworks, working with freelancers, working with all these different divisions and trying to figure out how do you get good corporate marketing with not a lot of money and resources to work with. So I perfected that, or tried to at least, for about 3 years. Started Relevention in Abbotsford, working with growing small, medium-sized businesses and trying to help them get corporate level agency downtown expertise with not a lot of money. And so that was what we've been doing since 2007. One of our first clients was BC Fresh, which we started working with Pete on, and I'll pass it to you. You can tell that story. So that's how Pete and I met.
So I didn't tell my wife until after I bought the company. And I have 4 children. Richard, thanks for putting this on. I've watched some of the videos and stuff. I've never been to one. This is great. Steve and Mike, this is fabulous. First time here, but I'm already planning my next time here. Like I said, or like Richard said in my intro, I've been in farming most of my life. And how that goes is, apparently when I was 7, I told my parents I was going to be a farmer. My dad's a welder and my mom's a music teacher. And they bought some acreage about a mile south of where our current farm is. And I remember the day very well. It was a Saturday, and we had to unpack all the boxes before I was allowed to go look for a job. So I got on my bike after all the boxes were unpacked, and I headed up the road and then down the road. And after the 4th farm, I figured, this is going to be a long bike ride if I get a job. Anyways, the 5th farm, I came to the doorway, and a young girl, about the same age as me, said, go ask my dad, he's in the barn. So I got back on my bike, pedaled to the barn, and I asked the man who looked like he was the dad or the boss, and I said, can I have a job here? And he said, can you work hard? And I said, yes. And he said, can you start now? And I said, yes. And I got my first job. And I never left. I didn't even know it was a potato farm until he handed me a broom and said, stand up on that machine and brush. And that's what I did for 4 hours. And I remember very painfully thinking, I don't know if I can do this any longer. I don't know if I can do this any longer. But I faked it, got all the way through, and at the end of the day we sat down and he said, I can offer you $3.75 an hour, and you can continue to work tomorrow if you'd like. And I thought to myself, pretty girl, tractors, and $3.75 an hour? I was in. And truthfully, I've never left. I went all through high school with that job, and after high school, and I kept getting. It was a family farm. It was run by 2 brothers, and they had 10 kids, and the 10 kids was the majority of the workforce. And I just sort of became the 11th kid to the point where I called the owners uncles. But they gave me more responsibility as I went, and with that came more accountability. And in 1993, I ended up buying half of the farm with one of the siblings, one of the sons. Sorry. And from then on, we just grew the business. And our motto has always been, there's always a better way. So we work hard and there's always a better way. So when we go into business, that's what we're looking at doing. We're looking at where we're at and how can we do it better? How can we be better in that space? So different things have come along, and it's changed from being hands-on on the farm every day to having more of a management position. But still, the core value is always the same. We're always looking for a better way. During that time, we bought up several other farms, and then along the way, a lot of you, I don't know if everybody's from Vancouver here, I know one person who's not, but we know the price of real estate over the last 10, 15 years has skyrocketed. And for us, we need land to farm, and it had become the biggest problem for us. So we started thinking, how can we do this better? So bottom line is we went looking around at what do other farmers need so we can borrow their land. And we got into biogas. And we currently own the largest biogas plant in British Columbia. And it's also the only one of its kind in North America. Basically what we do is we take cow poop and other food wastes, and I don't know if people are familiar with this, but we produce methane we clean up or we scrub, and we in return market that to Fortis. And this was sustainable to us because after you clean up the manure and the food waste, you have a nutrient, and that nutrient we use to grow better crops and cut down on our other fertilizers. Again, this is a better way of doing things as we saw it. I want to thank Leslie for mentioning passion, because it is truly the core thing that I found in all entrepreneurs, and it's something you need to have, because there are days and there are nights when you don't sleep, when you think, holy cow, what have I got myself into? When your wife, who you just told you about the company, says, why did you buy that company? All things like that. Anyways, through my gradual progression with farming got us into marketing. Marketing led us to BC Fresh. BC Fresh is a group of local farmers who got together and started a marketing company so that we could come up with a brand, we could come up with a set of standards that we would be recognized in the marketplace locally and also beyond. When I got into BC Fresh, the marketing part of BC Fresh, that's when I met Braden. And that's also how I found out about Hardbite. Hardbite was a customer of ours. Hardbite was originally established in 2002 when Nally's pulled their production plant from British Columbia and sent it south. Sepp Insler, he sold Sepp's Gourmet Foods. Sepp was a chef, and he sold Sepp's Gourmet Foods, bought Hardbite, and began producing the chips. Some of you might have known it was purchased on Dragon's Den. Sepp sold part of the company on Dragon's Den. In 2010, Sepp started having some health problems, and the business started to decline. And that's when I picked up on it, because he was a client of ours through BC Fresh, and the bills weren't being paid. So I went to visit Sepp, we started up a friendship, and the first thing I thought of was, hey, this is a great opportunity. I'm a potato farmer. This is another way to market potatoes. And that's when my relationship with Braden, I said, hey Braden, I got an idea. I'm going to send it back in now.
So the three key questions we ask ourselves is this a good business worth purchasing? So in your own business, you really have three core elements. Number one, is it a good product? Right? That's the first thing you're going to start with. And how do you know it's a good product? So the key thing is that we had consumer research that in a taste test. So this is the original Hardbite bag. So in a taste test of the National Post, it ranked number one in taste across Canada. So I said, okay, we have a good product. Can we actually make it? Right. So the first question was, do we have a good product? Do we know it? It's not just our own thing. Oh, it tastes great, or my friends say it's great. But do we have empirical evidence that says that it's good? And can we actually make it? So we have manufacturing capacity that we're only about 40% right now. So we thought, you know what? Yeah, we can. It's great ingredients, gluten-free, almost very, very pure chip in the market, and that was a bit of a chip connoisseur. And so it's saying, yeah, we have a great product. Okay, so you start with a great product. The second question is, how do people actually hear about a great product? And that becomes a distribution system issue. If you're in consumer packaged goods, you rise and fall on your ability to get that product to stores in a very efficient, very effective manner so that consumers can then buy it. And so the good thing with Hardbite is that he had established relationships with Over 80 Food Group, with Save-On, Price Mart, as well as IGA, some natural channel stores with Whole Foods, Choices, Nesters, also some really key food service clients, Grouse Mountain, Vancouver Aquarium, Stanley Park, Whistler. And so we knew we had some distribution and relationships with distributors and brokers already in place. So a lot of that hard work, a lot of the grinding at the front end was already done for us. The second one is that what is the potential upside? Right, so we said we can get it to the market, we can produce it, but what is the potential upside? Right now in Canada, it's about a $2 billion category, salty snacks. The US, it's actually about 15 times bigger in Canada. So we knew that there was a huge upside, and what we said is that it is the only potato chip that is produced, that's grown by the potatoes in Surrey, that is the farmers. By the farmers in Surrey, and then it's actually manufactured in Maple Ridge. It's the only potato chip actually from BC that's in BC. And so we said, well, what's the upside? Can we actually create a brand that really is designed to take a small market share within the BC market? And we felt that if we were able to take a bit of that market share, then financially it was viable, and any upside into Western Canada, Eastern Canada, US, or even the import market would have been gravy on top of that. So we kind of looked at the asking price from Sepp to say, hey Sepp, this is kind of what it looks like. We looked at the investment that would be needed in terms of bringing the facility up to standards and the investment into marketing to creating a new brand, kind of a new energy behind it, and said, is this worth pursuing? Knowing that for 2 to 3 years we're going to have to invest money fairly regularly to get it going. And that's when we kind of came into the room and said, yeah, okay, let's do this. And I think in any kind of deal, it kind of happens faster than you think. It's almost, you're like, whoa, wait, we have to sign the papers. Oh, okay, fine, let's go. And then all of a sudden you realize what you're into. But it's been very good. So what we're wanting was it's a good product. We have a great distribution system that we're clearing, and there's potential upside here. So those are the three elements that we really looked at, and we thought was good. So, thank you.